Welcome to the Juiice Pops Show. This is episode 11. I got Pops in the building. Pops, what's going on, baby? All right, Pops. So week 9 has officially concluded. We've had a trade deadline. We've talked about that. They've already got the video for that. We got Jerry Jones. He made some splash for the trade deadline, but also everyone hates Jerry Jones. So, Pops, let's just get straight into it. But before we do, everybody make sure you like and subscribe to the Juiice Pops Show. If you would not mind, make sure you share. And yeah, Pops, we got Jerry Jones, the Cowboys. And it seems like the weekly issues every year for either the fan base or the team, or Jerry can't never do nothing right. So what do you think, Pops?
I mean, the Cowboys were last year, and the move they made to right now, they're a much better team. They've added to their offense on the receiver side and on the running back side. You know, you got routed out on stuff, but as far as Devontae Williams, he performed well. Then you look at defensively with them, even though they got rid of Parsons, you look at they brought in Clark. And then with this
phenomenal pickup from Clark.
And for now, with them giving up a number one for Quentin Williams, that seals up the middle line where they were having problems before. So yeah, they lost pass rusher, but also at the same time, it's got Lynn Conley. He's not the same person. I'm not saying that he is, and not even close. But he can perform. I think it's a lot better defense than pulling Wilson for the middle and stuff. I think it was well played action for him. I think a lot better than the team myself.
I think what happens here is the Cowboys fans have to sit back and relax for a second and realize actually what's going on. Micah Parsons had a huge opportunity to either stay with the team or go somewhere else. Massive deal. For that same deal that you would have paid Micah Parsons, you get a draft pick. You also you get a draft pick with all of the draft moves that are concurrent to this exact moment right now after the trade deadline. So you still gain a draft pick. You lose Mozzie, and then you gain Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark on the inside. And then you added Jadeveon Clowney on the outside, which isn't, like Pop said, which isn't Micah Parsons, but he's going to get that job done, especially if you have both of those guys on the interior. And then now a big problem that was for Dallas Cowboys may not be a problem no more, because both of those guys are phenomenal run stoppers, and I think Quinnen Williams would be a top, 5 to top 10 defensive tackle within the last, 3 to 5 years. So I think that's a great pickup for the Dallas Cowboys, and they save a lot of money.
Thanks. I agree.
Do you think it's time to sit back a little bit more, though, if you're Jerry Jones, and allow the team to be the team? Or do you keep making these moves like you're making? Because it seems like Jerry Jones is, at the end of the day, he's making all the right moves. It's just like there's not the right people in place, but it seems like Jerry Jones or Jerry World is always going to be the same, problem or issue.
The timeline is they're done, period. There is no more moves for anybody this year. So we'll see how they done. Time will tell by the end of the year. That's the only thing they'll tell. Time will tell. Because they can make no more moves. It's over.
No. I'm saying if these moves, right? If these moves that he made for this offseason do not seem to be enough to at least keep them in a playoff hunt or whatever the case is, do you think it's time for Jerry Jones next season to say, okay, I'll allow the team, and put other people in position to make those calls rather than myself? Or do you like what Jerry Jones is doing? Because I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, well, you're talking to thin air, because that's never going to happen, period. It's always Jerry Jones' world, and that's always ever going to be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He goes to the people's own drum.
Yep, that's very fair. All right. All right, Pop. So let's get into the next segment. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. He makes a big step up. He makes a big leap this week. Um, Kyler Murray's no longer at the helm. I think it's phenomenal for a receiver. Respectfully, and no disrespect to Kyler Murray. But the targets that Harrison should receive, he doesn't get. And he doesn't complain, and you never hear anything. So for him to receive so little and still do so much, and then when he gets a quarterback that not many teams would care to have, respectfully, as their starting quarterback right now, and he produced the way that he produced last week, Pops, and then gave a 1-2 stutter at the goal line and made a DB fall. What do you think?
100%. The only thing you can change is if he turns into Danny Dime overnight. Because here's the thing. When he was with the Giant, Danny Dime, it was the same thing. He couldn't read defense. Always throwing INTs. But now he's a different quarterback, a whole different system and everything. Except the old Danny Dime come back last week. But that's the thing right now. As far as him, I think it's going to be a lot different.
Okay, so hold on, Pops. Before you get too ahead of yourself, though, I do want to let you know the Arizona Cardinals have, I believe it was around 5 or 6 p.m. They stated that Kyler Murray will not be their starting quarterback going into next week, and he will not be their starting quarterback going into any week unless the current quarterback is not performing. So, what do you think?
Yeah, Brissett took over, but it's like anything.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. At that same point, Brissett, he's got an arm something. He goes back to he'll pull a Danny Dime where he can't read the defense, and he'll start throwing INTs out of nowhere. That's been his big backdraw.
So, do you think if they start throwing random, or I mean, sorry, if Arizona, if Brissett throws two INTs, cost them the game, do you think next week they bring in Kyler Murray? Because I don't see no way them bringing Kyler Murray in if they're performing and playing better without Murray.
The coach, that's what I'm saying. The coach is here in Arizona. That's why they will play him there, and he will do a lot better. He won't be that way because it's the quarterback coach that's helping him. That's the same thing with Danny Dime coaching. It ain't because he woke up on the side of the bed and said, "I'm great today."
So, are you saying
But
Kyler Murray needs the right system then? Or are you saying that Brissett
Brissett,
found the right system with Arizona
yeah, I don't
and
think
Kyler
he's told
Murray's just
him.
ass out right now?
Yeah, and like I said, I think he found it unless, like I said, he turns back into the old Brissett, and I don't think he will.
Mm.
As a movie that who knows? The jury's still out.
Bottom lip right here pops at the bottom right. So, Marvin Harrison Jr. had a breakout game with Brissett. I love to see it. I know Pops loves to see it. I know any fantasy owner loves to see it. I know any fan loves to see it. I know Ohio State fans love to see it. And I'm a Michigan fan. So shout out to Marvin Harrison Jr. and also shout out to his pops for being able to keep him home, keep him humble, and make him stay grounded until he can, actually get an opportunity. Even no matter what the opportunity is, no matter where it comes from, he was ready for the moment, and you can't ask for a better performance from your number one wide receiver in a big game when you don't have your starting quarterback, Pops.
The only thing is, he's had drops in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends. Some quarterbacks throw a forgiving ball and a very catchable ball. Some quarterbacks don't. It's just the way it is.
And at the end of the day, You
And
got it.
I don't say I can only imagine the height and stuff of Murray and the arm uh, strength he'd have to use to make some those. Who knows if it's receiver friendly to catch the ball? Who knows?
I just
I'm
know
not
you
even.
gotta be able to produce right now in this day and age of the league, and I believe that they've given Kyler Murray beyond enough chances,
I
and
think
I think they're just ready for someone else to win them some football games, and however they can get that pops, I think that that's gonna be the case, and everyone's talking about Murray going to baseball or something. I don't see that being the case. But Murray, listen to me now, real quick, 2 seconds. If you think you can go play baseball, I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably can go make more money in baseball. Go play baseball, big dog. Go play baseball. Because he was a top recruit for baseball, pops. So what do you think?
he's
Say it again. Sorry, couldn't hear you.
going to baseball at the end of this year, so I believe.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up the Marvin Harrison side of this. Make sure y'all tap into the next video. I don't know why I ended it like that. I'm definitely gonna cut that out for sure. For sure. I've never done that before. All right, pops. Let's get to these rookie quarterbacks of 2024. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. Cam Ward was taken with the #1 pick by the Tennessee Titans. They expected a lot out of him, but you also have to expect a lot out of yourself too if you expect a lot out of him. So I think you have to come to like a 50-50 there. And I think they are trying to actually, and I actually don't think that he's having a bad season, even though the numbers don't look the best. The Titans don't look like they're performing the best. But I don't think Cam Ward looks like he's too bothered by some situations I see a lot of other rookie quarterbacks being bothered by, but then there's some other moments that I see him being not as efficient as what I was assuming he would be. But he's a rookie quarterback, not in the best situation. But I think next year the Tennessee Titans might be able to get it together, maybe with a decent offseason and a couple decent draft picks, pops, to be able to get Cam Ward into that #1 draft pick slot and actually being able to produce. What do you think?
Yeah, but he's been under more. I think he's been sacked more than any quarterback. But he's under pressure all the time. He don't hasn't really got time to even adapt to anything. They don't have no real receivers out there. They do their backs are okay, but still at the same time they don't. Yeah, no line, so he's under pressure all the time.
I can agree with you there, pops. I have no clue what the Titans' identity like is overall. I don't know if they want to be a 50-50, a balanced offense. I don't know if they want to run. I don't know if they want to pass. I don't know what the overall scheme is on defense. I feel like they're just trying to win games at this point, which I'm not mad at because they're still trying. But I would still like to see you get into a rhythm or something, especially if I was a fan of the Tennessee Titans, to be able to say, oh, okay, I can start rooting for this as a fan rather than I don't know what I'm going to get this week. And I feel like that's what the Tennessee Titan fans are kind of dealing with. And I don't even know if it's, has anything to do with Cam Ward or the coaching staff or just everything as a whole. It doesn't look terrible, but it definitely doesn't look good.
He's gonna have growing pains.
Go ahead.
There's a little bit of growing pains, but also, like I said, the line they suck. They're atrocious.
Yeah. So what would you give Cam Ward as a grade, pops? I'll give him a solid C minus. I don't think he's playing too well. I don't think he's playing bad though.
Yeah, he's about midway. He's doing about five. on a scale of 5 to 10, 1 to 10, I'd give him a 5 to a 6.
I'm not mad at that, Pops. All right, let's get into the next quarterback that was drafted. It was Jackson Dart. That was one of the rookies from last year. Jackson Dart was taken with the 25th pick overall by the New York Giants. Pops. He had to sit behind Russell Wilson, and then he had to come in and play to relieve Russell Wilson. And he performed well, Pops. I was very surprised, but I also thought that he had the swag to be able to do that, actually. So I don't know if I'm more surprised by the fact that he's able to do it, or if I'm surprised the fact that he's doing it in the NFL and the first game that he started playing to the current game that he's playing now.
Yeah. I just know that I think he's he's a franchise quarterback, but there's something about him that gives him. I don't say it's a willingness to do whatever it takes from himself to make it happen. He's got the willingness to win at whatever cost it takes. That's what I see.
That is a very good point, Pops. And I think we could almost leave it at that for Jackson Dart. What grade would you like to give him, Pops? I'll
Oh,
oh go ahead.
no, you're right. You go first.
I'll give him an A. I'll just give
Yeah,
him.
definitely.
I'm not gonna give him an A plus. I'm not gonna give him an A minus. I'm just gonna give him a solid A.
Yeah, he's an A. Like I said, he's playing. We'll see how things work out. You can't do nothing about them losing their back and stuff. But if
And
they still,
neighbors.
yeah, anything can still happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he lost neighbors and Scabadoo, or not Scabadoo. Sorry, Scadaboo, but he's still ready to play. Like he's next game. Like I understand, like it's still the next game. And the same way that if I was out, the team would have to say next game, and Russell Wilson would be in. And the fact that he's able to do that, though, Pops, I gotta commend him for it. So solid A, solid A. Let's get into the number 40th pick in the NFL draft of 2024, which was Tyler Shaw. I may be saying it wrong. My bad. Pops, they just officially named him the starter. He's going to be starting now for the rest of the season. They said he is the starter for the rest of the season, not next week, not no, all season, no matter what. Unless he gets injured, he is our starter. I don't care if he plays bad. So that means they must have seen something from him. Like they must be seeing something, or they're tired of something. I don't know. What do you think? Sorry for interrupting.
You're right. That's all. They just see what they need to see out of Rattler. He ain't a franchise quarterback. They saw they need to see out of him. They give him ample opportunity. He's a backup quarterback. He can play in the NFL, but he's not one that came to where he needs to go.
So at this point in time, you think Spencer Rattler is more than likely just going to have to go somewhere else to
Yeah,
restart his career, or he's just going to stay the secondary quarterback there because they did announce him as the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. And I do agree with you. They gave him every opportunity in the world to be able to produce the same way that, Atlanta is trying to give Penix every opportunity. And he is and he isn't, but the difference is Spencer Rattler didn't give the he is and he isn't. He gave the he just isn't.
yeah. Like I said, they have the work to do. So, like I said, I don't see no reason why. Nobody's really going to give him a shot to carry the reins, but He'll be a backup quarterback. Somebody else might take him in next year, or he might stay right there where he's at. Who knows? But to me, he's the backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with you there, and I think other teams are going to look at it that way. And sadly, you just get stuck under that stipulation, especially when you get given the reins and being drafted, decently high. So hopefully Spencer can get it together and prove, himself right. And we wish you the best. That's for sure. Pops is getting to the number 92nd pick of the NFL draft. It was Jalen Milroe to the Seattle Seahawks, which then ended up getting traded, which now is not going to be getting no snaps. So it's not much to say there. I think it's a solid talent, but at the end of the day, if there's no opportunity for you to actually be able to play, you just got to stay ready until your number's called. Other than that,
You take the time and learn the offense, dude.
I don't think he's a
You
bad
understand?
quarterback. We haven't seen nothing, but I mean,
Learning what he needs to do. Like most quarterbacks, they need you just sitting back and watching things, taking it all in. There's a lot to go pro.
there's a lot to go on pro, and there's a lot of great quarterbacks that have sat out multiple years behind multiple quarterbacks until they got to play. And then once they got to play, they never sat back down. And you could be one of those guys. Pops, let's go ahead and get to the next two draft picks. We'll just doing both at the same time. We got the 94th draft pick and the 144th draft pick by the Cleveland Browns. We got Dylan Gabriel. We got Shador Sanders. You have paid attention more to Gabriel's performance than mine, Pop. So I'm gonna agree with whatever grade you just want to straight out give him. If you want to talk about the performance at all, you're more than welcome to. We do have another segment later on to where we're going to talk about Stefanski and giving the reins up as offensive play caller. But I believe that is also a great decision. If he believes in Dylan Gabriel, he's giving that guy a chance, and he's taking himself out the equation. He can't get it done. They can't get it done. Hey, it's time for Sanders. If there's still no Sanders after that, then we may not see, no report for Sanders until 2026. So what do you think overall, Pops, between the Browns taking two quarterbacks and being in the situation that they're in with, the coach, stepping down from calling the offensive play calls? But we'll get into that a little bit later.
I said earlier about being a backup quarterback. That's what he reminds. That's all I see from him. Even though Stefanski's play calling is pretty shallow and not at all, I almost say advanced, but they don't go downfield much at all. It's the short process and stuff, trying to move the ball, and and as far as he couldn't read defenses, I didn't think he played well at all. I score him about a D minus. Shadur, I think, is finally going to get his chance, and I'm eager to see, but I think you're going to be pretty impressed with what he does. That's just what I believe.
A D minus, I'm not surprised by. But I also did just listen to what you said, and we'll talk about the Stefanski stuff later on. And I will agree with that D minus, Pops. It's either Sanders time or it's put up or shut up time for Dylan Gabriel, and Cleveland wants to see something. And if you show them something, oh, they gonna ride for you. But if you don't show them nothing, they not gonna ride for you. I promise you. And I think that's the end of that one right there, Pop.
I'll tell you what, I know how you like the Oregon Ducks, and being he come from Oregon, I
Mm-hmm.
really was hoping I'd see a lot from him, and I just didn't see it either. I didn't see it at all.
That's why I said that when we get into that segment here in a minute with Stefanski, um, I kind of understand where you were coming from with just a little bit on the play calling side, but also he hasn't shown much from what I did look. I'm not gonna lie, from what I did look, Pops, I was not pleased, and
You can't
and
read the defense,
and
right?
that's why I said whatever you want. Yeah, exactly that. The fact that he didn't sometimes he got confused by the safety shifting, or from like cover three, it would and like the linebackers dropping down in zone sometimes and playing certain different coverages. It was like he was seeing ghost.
He couldn't hit nothing over the middle for the linebackers. They were taking everything away from him.
Yeah, and it was like you got to beat us with the 10 yard to 15 yard pass, but it was also like the system was set up for 8 and under. So it makes sense both ways, but I didn't like nothing that I seen, because I didn't even like the passes that I've seen overall. I thought there were some passes that could have been at least toward the receiver that just ended up getting thrown out of bounds, just because he felt a little bit of pressure and he got rid of the ball a little early. And that is the West Coast offense that ended up moving to the Big Ten from Oregon. And I mean, I gotta say, we've seen it happen to Marcus Mariota, Dad, and that's my guy too.
Not playing bad enough. We're going to see how I'll do for the rest of the year with Washington. Now it's his time to really show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eager to see how he does.
I am too. He has an opportunity. He has an opportunity to really go out there and say, "Hey, this really wasn't my fault."
Yeah, and the offense is set up around his style of quarterbacking.
Mm-hmm. And
And set up
it's not
the
like he's
system.
going into and it's not like he's going into a new offensive play calling system into the fresh week. They have a bye week. They're gonna get some play calls in. He's gonna get at least 15 to 20 play calls that he knows.
He's only had 2 games.
No, he's had four. Remember?
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, he's had 2 complete games I'm talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's either it's right there at that point to where one or two more games, and then it's somebody else's time, and then we might be able to talk about Shador Sanders later on in the season. But that's gonna wrap up the rookie quarterbacks. We also had Will Howard that was drafted by my Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm sorry, baby, we got A-Rod right now and he balling. Um, I, you gotta learn. I'm gonna holler at you next year, okay? Learn.
He might be one of the next one coming out next year after A-Rod's gone. He might have learned what you need.
Please learn.
I'm with you. Need one.
I promise you, Pop. He could end up turning out to be exactly what we were just talking about 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
All right, Pops. Let's talk about my Steelers beating on the Colts. We didn't really beat on them, but we did get the dub, Pops. I'm excited. Did not expect to get that one. I thought maybe JT might run a little too heavy, but I got to remember who my coach is, Pops. And, Mike T is going to make sure he eliminates the main problem and, make sure, you beat us, the way you're not supposed to beat us. Shout out to Coach T for, being able to dial that up the right way. Shout out to the defense for playing, balls to the wall, fellas. Hats off to you. Hats off to you. And then when JT did get the ball, you made sure you stayed home. Thank you so much, because he was ready to get loose. He was ready to get loose again. And then we also took out the MVP, Danny Dimes, Pops, in my opinion. I know a lot of people want to neglect a little bit from him because JT was performing so well, but he's underneath the new system, new players, new everything, and he was balling, and nobody thought that he would even be able to play well. And then after that, he wasn't even supposed to have the starting job. So I was very excited to get that dub, Pops, especially before they get Sauce Gardner. I know I do not want that problem. So what you think about the Steelers getting the win over the Colts, Pops, and the fact that the AFC North, I guess, is in the weird bracket to where Pittsburgh's we're at the top right now, and everyone else seems to be trying to figure out what they got going on.
I'm really impressed with Steelers, especially their defense. Their offense is playing all right, but I'm telling their defense really come to play. They shut them down in every facet.
I would really like to see Caleb Johnson used more in the offense. I just want to see if he can go. Um, I I think we've seen exactly what what Warren's gonna give us, respectfully, and I'm okay with that. But that's not gonna get us an offensive victory in the playoffs consistently. So I need to see something out of Caleb Johnson as a reliever, or to be able to come in and say, hey, I'm going to pick up some of these pass blocks. And they can know I'm coming in for pass blocks or whatnot. It don't matter. I'm going to pick up on all these pass blocks because he was working on his pass blocks a whole lot in the offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if that's something that we love him for, let's utilize some of these opportunities that we got. But I think we have to get more assertive on offense, like you kind of just nodded to a little bit, Pops, in order to win playoff games, especially against a lot of these teams in the AFC, because the AFC West is dangerous. The AFC East is dangerous. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like the Bills. It's a lot of high-powered offenses with solid quarterbacks or great quarterbacks or some of the best, if not the best quarterbacks, and they're going to get it done. And I think that at the end of the day, we just have to be able to produce with their style of offense to a certain degree in order to be able to stay in the game. Because I think our defense can keep us in the game for so long, unless our defense can stay 100% consistent in the playoffs. But so far throughout the season, we've had some shaky games to where if we have one of those in the playoffs, I'm not sure if our offense is going to be able to get us out of that, no matter how good A-Rod plays.
I think they got enough offensive talent they can.
I think we do too. But the receiving core is a little shaky, so if they want to make sure DK don't do nothing, we're dependent on everybody else to do something, or we're dependent on Warren to make something happen in the run game.
When you got Fireman's and Juju too, that's what they got the tight end for. That's what Juju was for.
Nah, Juju plays for Kansas City. I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to correct you, Dad. You mean Jonnu Smith?
Yeah,
you mean Jonnu Smith, the tight end that we picked up. I was just trying to let them know. So I wasn't trying to correct you. But yeah, Jonnu Smith, tight end.
They said with them already having Fireman there.
No, I'm not. I'm not mad at that. I think that we could make a few things shake. But that's gonna wrap up. How I feel about my Steelers, Pops. Do you want to say anything else about my Steelers? I know you're a Vikings fan, Pops, but yeah, I had to talk about my Steelers real quick.
I'll wait to see how they do.
Me too.
Damage.
I just want to see us be. We're playing Steelers football, but we're not fully there. We're getting there. We just haven't, established our offense yet, like you stated, Pops, and I think if we can do that, I think we got a good shot, in the playoffs. Other than that, it's going to be tough in that AFC playoff bracket, Pops. And shit, we're going to have to wait and see.
I got this one. Defense can keep in it. Always. And offense can always win on the last drive. And you got all the capability with that team to do such things.
And we did get Kyle Duggar, 77 out of 78 snaps on week 1 from the Patriots, baby. We needed it. Let's get into the next segment, Pops. We got all right, Pops. So this was something that you kind of let me know about. I didn't know that he was out for the season. Jaden McDaniels is officially out for the season, Pops. He was played in a game that I guess not many fans, not many teammates, allegedly, or any announcer or anybody else that has an opinion like us, thought that he should have been in the game. And then there's also NFL athletes that are on, that have podcasts that I have listened to, Pops, that have come out and stated, listen, if that game is there, we want our quarterback playing. And 99% of the time, our quarterback wants to play, and he wants to get a positive drive before he ends that game. And that's just how it goes. And Dan Quinn, you are taking a lot of the blame, which I believe you have to, because it was your choice to play him at the end of the day. That is your choice. But I do not think that it was a wrong decision to play him, because it was trying to get a positive drive just to get that momentum going into either the next game or just, finishing out that game. Let's get some camaraderie. Let's get some good energy, some vibes going into the locker room. Let's not go home with our heads down. And I think Jaden Daniels wanted that for himself as well. He didn't want to go into the locker room with his head down. And sadly, this is why it makes the most sense in every time of these games to always take your, star players or quarterback out. But then again, Pops, it's hard to say this when you just watched what happened with the Bears game and how they won. And also with how Joe Flacco came back the week before and scored 24 points in less than 4 minutes. And he scored, I think, 2 touchdowns in less than a minute. So it's not like the game isn't there. And it's not like he shouldn't be playing, because I think he should be playing. But it's just, what do you want? It's just, what do you want to do? I think I would have played him, Dad. I think I would have. If he wanted to play, go ahead. There's no reason I'm going to tell you not to go ahead and go get you some, go get you a touchdown real quick and go feel good before we get up out of the stadium. I don't think there's no reason I can tell you that. You've already played the whole game and went through hell. So, what you think, Pop?
I think at that moment, something had to go. And I understand. I would too.
Can't really hear you. Say it one more time. Sorry, I can hear you though, but say it one more time.
I said you want them to go out on a good note anyways when they're getting beat that bad. And here he is on a drive, and they're within the 20. So yeah, why not? And then you have regrets, but they're a pro athlete. You want to protect them from themselves, but also, at that point in time, the decision maker, you can't hold yourself accountable for nothing. Yeah, it's a head coach, and yeah, you do, but still, I don't agree with it.
I just think it's tough to put everything on Dan Quinn, how everyone is. And then shout out to the NFL players that are retired now and doing podcasts and actually speaking out right now and just voicing their opinion and saying, man, we play to win a game. If you don't want to win a game, you go home. And at the end of the day, he wanted to win that game in his mind. And that win for him in his mind was putting some points on the board. And it just sucks the way that it happened. I wish him a speedy recovery, Pops. I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. You are too, Pops. You're a bigger fan than what I am. He plays well, and it's just it just sucks that he took an injury like that. But the best part about that, Pops, is that it wasn't none of his knees. It was just something to do with his arm. So if that thing can recover, 90%, he gonna be back to going crazy again, Pops. was his throwing arm. I was trying to be positive, Pops. I thought about that afterwards, and then I thought about the hand, and then it was his throwing. I was thinking,
who knows if actually will send me in. But I don't even know what kind of surgery it all had to be.
I think he'll bounce back the same way that our guy Brian Robinson Jr. did for the Commanders. He gonna come out to that 50 Cent like, who shot me, and he's good. Get healthy soon, Jaden. Get healthy, big dog. All right, Pops, let's get into the next one. All right, OG. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment. This is a little surprise for you. I have the AFC West as the best division in football right now. I still currently know the AFC North is on top because that is where my Steelers are at, you know. It's just tough in there, Pops. But I can't lie to you, Pops. The AFC West is balling. The Raiders don't look the best, and they're the worst team in that division. But I think they still look better than worse. I think they could look like the Raiders, and they don't look like the typical Raiders that are just don't care about football. They are actually caring about football, and I think they're producing. And then you have the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that we have to say much about the Kansas City Chiefs. They're pretty self-explanatory. And then you have the Los Angeles Chargers, Pops, that are performing out of the wazoo. They've had a few bad games, a few shaky games here and there, but I don't think that neglects too much from what Jim Harbaugh has brought to the team and what Justin Herbert has done so far. They've also lost both of their running backs for majority of the season so far. They've lost receivers. They haven't been healthy. And once they complete a full roster and be able to stay healthy, which is very hard to do. Shout out to the 49ers. But it's going to be tough to stop them Chargers, Pops. And then, them Broncos. Them Broncos are at the top of the division. Bo Nix got them rolling, OG. He's got them rolling. Cortland Sutton looks like a top 10, top 15 wide receiver whenever he has to be. He looks like hey, if you need it, let me know something. Or Bo Nix, okay, I'll make it happen. Or RJ Harvey does something. Or J.K. Dobbins typical. He does something. Denver's just rolling, Pops, and their defense is just phenomenal to me at the end of the day. So I see it hard to stop the AFC West. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's like the Raiders are bad. Okay, if we take them out, that's three really good teams.
That's the only part of the division this week is the Raiders.
And then they still got Max Crosby and Genty and other players to worry about.
Against the defense.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you don't got to worry about is Geno Smith not panning out with the offensive coordinator and the Raiders right now. Like, that's the only thing that you're banking on.
But now you got Brock coming back, so anything can happen.
You get Brock Bowers back, he might be good for 10 for 100 every game.
Oh, he is. He's going to be what you got to worry about him getting 200 and 2 touchdowns like he just got. That's it you got to worry about with him.
And I promise you, he's going to get off that line, and if you think he's going to run a route. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pop.
He cannot be guarded one-on-one.
Oh, facts.
He cannot be guarded.
Facts. Do you think he has, I wouldn't say the Rob Gronkowski pop for the one-on-one for the tight end, but I would say like George Kittle when like it was like that peak year for him. What would you think?
Better than Gronkowski.
Better than Gronk? Oh.
I ain't seen nobody for tight end run the ball like he runs the ball, period. He runs a route and he is down.
Yeah, he don't care. He wants to get money.
Wait, do this. Watch highlights from his last game. Now
Oh,
that
from
he's
Brock.
healthy, just watch the highlights from his last game.
Okay.
You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's the tight end you can't guard. The only thing you can do is hopefully you can put him in against the zone, double him. You had to put a spy on him and double him at the same time. That's the way he can cut it down what he's going to get. But if they'll throw him at 10 targets, he's going to get at least 5 to 6 balls. I don't care if he's double covering. If he don't, he's going to have 9 or 10 catches,
That's fair.
200 or 300 yards.
And that is a very good point, Pops, because Jacoby Myers has phenomenal hands. He just got released during a trade, and it makes sense. Brock Bowers is that man, and if you think he's gonna go on a route, that might be your ass because his blocking is damn near that good, like Rob Gronkowski's. It's almost that good because Rob would block you to the third level. But he'll block you and then he'll sit your ass down because like he's just like a little bit more like to him than what Rob was. Rob was a little bit more longer, I think, when it came to the pop. And I think Brock will kind of like grab a linebacker or like a safety or something and sit him down a little bit more than what Rob did. But I think they both block really, really well too. So it's tough to mess with Brock.
I just think up here, I thought he could build me. Yeah, I think he's better.
You think Brock Bowers can end up being better than Rob Gronkowski?
Yeah, and actually, I think him and Warren.
See that I see it with Warren too, but like I love what I see from Sam Laporta. You know I'm a huge fan. You know I'm a big fan of Trey McBride. They're not the same as the Warren and the Bowers that can handle every block possible and then get money in the air. That's what makes both of them different, and I will agree with you because I'm a huge fan of both of them more than both of them tight ends. But I would take both of them tight ends for the overall category, like you're speaking about. Like I'm loving what I'm seeing from Warren right now, like how we seen from Brock last year. So that's a good nod, Pops. Let's get into this next segment real quick. What else do we got? All right, Pops, let's get into the next segment. We have the most dominant defensive ends in the NFL. I'm just going to throw a couple of names out there to you. Let's go Hutchinson. Let's go Myles Garrett. Let's go Micah. We can go Max Crosby. TJ Watt's kind of like linebacker-ish, but still defensive end. He's still going to rush. It's just, for the Steelers' defensive scheme. What do we think, Pops? Who's the most dominant defensive end in the NFL? I know I've been taking over all of these. I'm going to say it depends what you want. It depends if you want the overall package or if you want more rush or if you want more run stop. I think if you want more guaranteed run stop out of all of those options, you can probably go Myles Garrett. I think if you want more overall, you can probably go Max Crosby and Hutchinson. And then I think if you want, coverage with the ability to rush and get money and get active, that's that linebacker breed with TJ Watt.
Yeah, but I'm not a true defensive end.
No. Especially for the defensive system that we run and defensive scheme that we run in Pittsburgh. So let's go. Who would you give the most dominant defensive end too. The most dominant overall. Like like if you had to line them up, Pops, and you had to pick one, and say that's my guy, who's that gonna be?
No, yeah. Then Hutchinson, then Crosby.
You know what's crazy, Dan? Is I think you could throw all of them up, and it don't matter.
No.
It don't. And everyone says there's a tier list. Listen to me. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this off of my brain. Last year, before Hutchinson got injured and took a terrible knee injury, which he's performing completely well after, which usually defensive ends never perform after, just for anybody's information out there. He had 4 sacks. Well, I think it was 4.5 in a game. So Myles Garrett just had 5, So it's that same style of player. Just to let everybody know, like, these tiers are very close. And Pops, I think Myles Garrett he's just so hard to like not say him. Even though I want to go at Max Crosby, and then I want to take Hutchinson second actually, because I like the wiggle that I get from Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson got really good wiggle, and I think he's got a good escape to be able to get a lot of tackles too. But Myles Garrett's just so dominant, and we're talking about dominant, Pops, and it's either got to be Myles Garrett or Max, and
I like Max's motor.
I love Max's motor, but I think you're right. I don't think it beat Myles Garrett. Just he gonna win 99.9%, and I think Max Crosby gonna win 98.8% just because of his motor too. It's that 0.2 difference, and I gotta go Garrett.
I like Hutchinson better than Crosby, but I like Crosby's motor. Well enough, I almost like put him at second just because of his motor.
And if I had to pick one right now to pick on my team, I'd pick Max, because I know he gonna stop the run. He gonna get me a couple of sacks, and he might get a couple of pass deflects. You know what I mean? So it's like they're all the same guy. It's just who do you want? And I think they're all dominant. But I agree with your Pops. Myles Garrett, most dominant defensive end in the game by far, and not by far, but he is the most dominant defensive end in the game. And I don't think there's. And I don't think there's no left tackle, no right tackle, left guard, right guard, or no center that wants any one-on-one problem with that man.
Absolutely.
All right, Pops, let's go ahead and get into the Week 10 pick'ems. All right, Pops, let's get into it, man. The Week 10 pick'ems, baby. So let's get started with it, Pops. Thursday night, November 6th, 2025, at 8:15 p.m. on Prime Video. Raiders, Broncos. Who you got? I got Broncos. All right, we're both taking Broncos. All right, Pops. All right, let's go to the Sunday 1:00 games. We got the Falcons at Indianapolis playing the Colts. Who you got? Colts coming off the loss to Pittsburgh. I think I could go Atlanta here if they didn't just lose to us. So I gotta go Colts. I gotta go Colts with you. All right, Pops. Giants playing Chicago Bears. They're looking okay. Giants versus the Bears. Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
You know what? Come on, Chicago. Let's get money. I'm going to go Chicago.
I was going Bears till you said that, and I'm going Giants.
I like it. I was thinking the same thing. All right, Pops. You said what?
I was really surprised until you said that.
All right, we got the Bills playing the Dolphins in Miami, Pops. I got Bills.
No, thanks.
All right. I don't think we're gonna talk about that one. Ravens versus the Vikings. Yo, Vikings. I'm gonna go first. I'm taking the Vikings, and I'm taking the Vikings by 10.
No, it'd be Vikings, but I think it'll only be by 3.
I like it. I think JJ gets it done in style. I think he
Honestly,
gets it done in style.
I think it'll be a field goal.
I like that.
Both defenses are too stout.
Yeah, and Lamar is back, and Lamar is throwing that motherfucker too. I ain't gonna what.
It's gonna be a last drive win. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah. Can I take mine down to 3-2? Can I go? Can I take that back?
Hey, no, whoever you think's gonna win, period. Don't matter about how much.
Yeah. I got the Vikings. I got the Vikings though.
It's a calling point, but it matters who wins or loses. Don't matter how many points they win or lose by.
All right, let's go to the Browns versus the Jets, Pops, and the Jets just got rid of a whole lot. I'm actually gonna take the Browns to get this win. I will take the Browns on getting this dub, and I think the Browns might get it done by a lot or barely. Either they're going to blow them out the water, Dad, and it's just going to be bad for the Jets just because of all the moves, or because you got to think, Judkins finna go right down that middle without Quentin Williams there. Ooh, wee.
It's gonna be bad news for the Jets. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to get with you. I gotta go take a break.
Go ahead and do your thing, OG. Jared Judy might have to, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Jared Judy might have to go for about a buck in that game. No Sauce Garner. That could be legendary. I'm finna get through the rest of my pick'ems. No, I actually can't. I'm gonna wait for Pop so we go through them back and forth. All right, the next 1:00 game, Pops, is the Patriots versus the Bucks. I mean, Drake May's playing phenomenal. Baker Mayfield, both. I mean, damn near MVP. That's a tough game, Dad. I'm gonna let you call that one, but I think I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I think they get it done.
Well,
Oh, you're gonna go Bucks? Oh, I'm gonna go Patriots. I like how you threw that. Okay, a little curveball on me. A little something. Okay, Pops. All right, the next 1:00 game is the Saints versus the Panthers. I got Panthers. They're playing well, moving good. Bryce Young's eventually gonna get into his own, and Panther Nation just be patient. Just be patient. I think everything's gonna work out.
ball well, they're winning.
Yeah, like don't ask him to do too much until he has to. I mean, don't break something that ain't not that's not working. Let's get into the last 1:00 game. Dad, we got the Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. Texans got the best defense in the league right now.
And don't forget, Stout's out, Mills is playing.
Oh, I got Jags. I got Jags all day, and they got Jacoby Myers. I got Jags.
Same here.
I appreciate that. Let's get into the 4:00 games, Dad. The only 4:05 game is the Cardinals versus Seattle. I think that one could end up being a banger, but I think Sam Darnold's ready to keep producing, and good luck.
Yeah,
I got Seattle.
Same here.
You got Seattle, Pop?
Yep.
All right, I like it. Let's get into the two 4:25 games. The first one is the Rams at the 49ers. 6-2 versus 6-3. I think that one can go either way. I think this one's gonna be a tough one to call. It's a rivalry game, damn near. I'm gonna take. I gotta go Stafford. and Kyron Williams or Christian McCaffrey. And I feel like I gotta go Christian McCaffrey. I'm gonna go Niners. Nah, fuck that because they ain't got Fred Warner. No, I'm going Rams. I got Rams by 3. I got Rams by 3. All right, pops. The last 425 game is the Lions versus the Commanders at Washington. You got Lions. I damn near got Lions by 14 on that one. I like how they're looking. And then the 8. Sorry.
Plus, they lost last game. They're
Oh yeah. They're definitely due for one, especially how they lost last week. Yep. That's a good note, Pop. Same thing with the Colts that we did. Yep, that's a good note. Let's get into the 8 o'clock game, Pop. I don't know why we always gotta face one of these. Pop, we was just talking about the AFC West. Why do my Steelers gotta face Justin Herbert and the Chargers right now? They're hungry for a win. They want to win. We just got done playing a tough game versus Indianapolis. We might mess around and lose this game, Dad. So logically, I'm gonna go Chargers beat us by 3. And I'm a Steelers fan.
I like the Chargers too.
I think the Chargers beat us by 3-10. Sadly, I think the Chargers get this one done. And I think this is a win that we could really use.
Well,
Pop, let's get into the very last game. This is the Monday night game on November 10th of 2025 at 8:15 p.m. We have the Eagles versus the Packers. It's a banger. It's a banger. I got the Eagles with all the moves that they made and everything. I think somehow, some way they get it done. And the Packers just come a little short, so I got the Eagles.
yes. They're without Kraft now, so
Yeah. Green Bay, yes, sir. Green Bay is without Kraft. He's out for the rest of the season. Torn ACL or MCL, I believe.
yeah.
Oh, and that was another tight end. And sorry to everyone for what we was talking about earlier. If you watched the entire pod, Kraft is a rookie tight end that is playing phenomenal. He is not on the same par as what Brock Bowers was, and Warren is for the Colts, but he is also playing phenomenal. So shout out to him. Hopefully a speedy recovery. And he was doing everything that he could for Green Bay. But that's a big injury to take. So yeah, I gotta go against Green Bay on this one, Pop. Let's go Eagles. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the podcast. This is the Juiice Pops Show. That's Pops. Well, that's Pops over there. I'm Juice, a.k.a. Son. Appreciate everybody for popping in. Pops, do you want to say anything to anybody?
Peace out.
Make sure y'all subscribe, turn on post notifications. And if y'all don't mind, drop a comment down below and let us know some of y'all thoughts about the pod. It's love. Subscribe to the Juiice Pops Show. Trade deadline was a little bit busy. Last night during the Monday night game, Jerry Jones, aka Jerry World, he decided to go to the press conference after the game and state that he had 2 moves possibly being made, and one of the moves people weren't that fond of, which was Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson was the first signing for a 7th round draft pick. People aren't too fond of that. But then the other draft picks that they gave up for another superstar player was a defensive lineman, defensive tackle, Quinnen Williams from the Jets. So what would you rate the Cowboys trade so far, Dad, on the trade deadline?
I like it. I like Logan Wilson there. I like it there for fun.
You like Logan Wilson going to Dallas?
Yes.
See, he wasn't getting no snaps, so I don't even know if they think he can even play ball anymore.
Mm-hmm. He had a couple missed tackles. That's all.
Okay.
Unless he had to do something they were talking about that I wasn't aware of.
I know they have a rookie there that's playing, and I think I think which is Knight, and I believe they have a second rookie that is playing there, either maybe a second year guy that is taking his job. I actually couldn't even tell you, but yeah, he ends up going to Dallas for a 7th round draft pick, which I thought was fairly cheap for a middle linebacker at least. I feel like middle linebackers can go from 3 to 5 all day long, so.
Yeah, they may more money than what I thought.
Let me pull up the little trade list real quick. As you guys can see here, some of all of the trades that actually went down today. We'll get into one of the light ones real quick, Pops, just to touch up on it. The Chargers replace a hurt offensive lineman by getting Trevor from the Saints. So it was a late round draft pick. Probably not expecting too much, but I mean, you needed a tackle to help out. You needed a lineman to help out with the injury. So I'm not mad at it. I think it's tough giving up. I think either a 6th or a 7th round draft pick, though. Like when you don't want to give up one.
And plus, they got what's in their running backs be back this week too.
Oh,
Back.
Hampton
I
comes
don't
back
know.
this week.
He's off IR. Who knows if he's going to play or not?
Oh, okay.
But he can, yeah.
Let's see here. Let's get to I guess this is probably the biggest trade then, Pops. It would be like the second biggest trade besides, Dallas making 2 different little splash plays, one big one, minute one to a lot of fan bases. The next biggest.
We didn't talk about Quentin Williams, though. That is a big trade for them.
Yeah, Quentin Williams. Yeah, that's who I just brought up. That Quentin Williams, the defensive lineman that they just picked up.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him. We talked about Wilson as far as
Oh, what do you think
him.
about? Oh, sorry. Yeah, then what do you think about Quentin going to Dallas?
That's a big splash play for them. That's big time for them. And that's what I'm saying. Logan Wilson was his actual edge on that. And I think he'll be just fine. What they need was that up front help. And that's what's going to take people apart. They won't be able to put the hands on. Their linemen won't be able to put the hands on the linebackers without not having a good lineman. Now they'll have to sustain their blocks. So don't be too much of a pass rush.
Now they're gonna have Quentin Williams. You also got to remember they did give up Micah Parsons. They got capital back, but they also received Kenny Clark on the inside. So now they have all-pro Kenny Clark and all-pro Quentin Williams on the inside.
Exactly. That's going to help stop their run. That was a run problem. And Wilson be there to add to that also.
I could see Logan Wilson adding value there, but I just don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna play him.
Yeah, but Conley's not the same as Parsons that he is there.
No, but Clowney's playing well.
Yeah, like I said, he's not Parsons. He's doing his part.
It's not a huge drop off, but it's a huge drop off when it comes to like. I'd still rather run at Jadeveon Clowney than if I'm gonna run at Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Like,
it's over at talent. Now, as far as, yes, he's a lot more talented player, but he can play position just like him. And maybe not as effective with the pass rush, but he can hold on to the spot, which is what you need to do.
so what would you give? I feel like the Cowboys deserve a solid A minus.
I like what they done.
I think they didn't give up much for Logan Wilson. So if Logan Wilson doesn't pan out, no harm, no foul. They have the capital there with the draft picks. And then they gave up other draft picks to make a big splash for Quentin.
Yeah, that's what they needed was Quentin Williams.
I don't think no one expected Quentin Williams to be traded. Like,
To be honest with you, I'd rather have Quentin Williams and Clark and Wilson than just Parsons. That helps your defense.
when you look at it, and on top of that, you saved money. Yeah, you gave up some draft picks, but you also got draft picks. So technically, you're up a draft pick. Plus, you save money, and you swap Micah Parsons out for Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. So is Jerry Jones the GM, owner, and whatnot of the century? Are the Cowboys going to make a change?
To me, they made a big splash because they got Pickens early on in it. They made some big moves this year.
Mm-hmm. They made some solid moves this year. They made.
And look, we got Javonte Williams. Look what he's done.
Mm-hmm. And even though they let go of Rico, and then Darnold's playing phenomenal for the Carolina Panthers, yeah, you may want that back, but he still wasn't doing that for you. So I think he found the right situation for him at Carolina to be able to produce the way that he's producing. I don't think he'd produce the same way at Dallas. So I don't think that there's a big change in them getting Williams from Darnold. If anything, I think Williams helps them a little bit more in some situations. And you're right. They've done nothing but make splash plays. They picked up any opportunity that they've had a time to either let someone go or pick someone up or pay somebody. They always do it. So now it's just, do you believe in Dak Prescott at this point? I think because Dak it's tough. But that's how I see the trade falling out with the Cowboys. I think it looks good. I think it looks great on paper. I just think that you got to figure out, can Dak win you games?
We're going to find that
out. All right, let's get into the rest of these, Pops. We have Sauce Gardner was traded from the Jets to the Indianapolis Colts for I believe it was for 2 first-round picks or a first and a second, but I believe it was for 2 first-rounders this year and next year. And then they're receiving also A.D. Mitchell, which was a second-round draft pick last year for Sauce Gardner. What do you think, Pops?
The Colts making a move.
Sauce is nothing to play with.
I'm just kind of speechless right now. I mean, that's a good bold move for the Colts. They needed that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're gonna make a play now and you think you actually have a chance either this year or next year to win a Super Bowl, I think it makes perfect sense. You go out there and get one of the best corners, and he's one of the youngest corners in the game.
That's one of the spots they have.
You said that was one of the weakest spots?
Yeah, the linebacker core is tough. The linemen are tough. But their secondary was the only place they were really hurting that much. And that wasn't a safety, it was on the corner. So they just fixed that problem.
Everyone's making fun of that the trade had Adonai Mitchell in it, which Adonai Mitchell had that crossing route to where he got a little free on Sauce. Sauce dove at his back legs, didn't make the tackle, but Adonai Mitchell moved the ball at the pylon and lost the ball at like the half-yard line. And then so he hasn't seen the field really since then. So people online are kind of making like a funny joke about it, on how it was the guy that had a touchdown against Sauce, lost the ball at the 1-yard line or half-yard line on his own, and then now they're included in the same trade together. It's quite ironic, though. But, I mean, it makes sense because he wasn't getting no snaps at Indianapolis anyways.
Right.
And the Jets could use that. And they get a second-round draft pick and Mitchell, plus 2 number 1s for Sauce Gardner.
That's the one was his second.
Mm-hmm. And then
That's big.
Who's to know if Indianapolis is actually going to be good next year? I mean, you don't know. So that pick could actually end up being a top, 15 pick. But in all reality, it might end up being a top, a bottom 20 pick because Indianapolis does look good. Jonathan Taylor's running healthy, and, defense looks solid now with adding those pieces. Or with adding that piece.
Again, you can be beaten one game, so it's not gonna be a lower half, top half pick, but it'll be a lower half pick.
Yeah, I believe so.
Could be up to anybody, nobody knows.
Yes, sir. I believe so. Let's get straight to it, Pops. We also have so we talked about Trevor, we talked about Sauce Gardner, we talked about AD, we talked about Quinnen. Oh yeah, Mozzie Smith was also included into the trade with Quinnen Williams, Dad, which he was a first-round defensive tackle taken from Michigan, which just hasn't seen the field like an entire bunch from Dallas. So maybe they weren't too fond of him anyways. But maybe the Jets can make something work with him over there, and because they still got Jermaine Johnson, so that he might actually end up becoming a player now because he should be a full-time starter now for the Jets as long as he pans out.
Yeah, like I said, I drafted him too when he went to Dallas. He ain't done nothing. He got to see the field a little bit, but he never done nothing. He's on the field.
All right, Pops.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said he wasn't that impressive to me.
Do you want to touch base on your guy? You said he was going to go somewhere, so I'll let you talk about him first. Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers ended up going to Jacksonville, Pops, with the hurt Travis Hunter right now on IR. What do you think about it?
That helped them out. That's what they needed right now. That helped them a lot.
I definitely think it's big time news for sure, for sure. I think that it's 100% was a need, especially because of what happened last week.
And them now, with Trevor being the third receiver, are you kidding me? That's what they're doing. That's what it looks like they're doing with it.
With who being the third receiver?
Hunter.
Oh, wow. See, okay, yeah, now when that comes back, yeah. And then they're going to take...
Second receiver. He'll end up being the third, but he'll have his design played, but they'll have him play a little bit more defense, too, I got to be right.
And now they won't... Wow, that's a great call, Dad. I think now they will no longer... That makes a lot of sense. They might start moving him to defense a little bit more, allow Myers to take these receiving snaps, and then they had, P.J. Washington at wide receiver, I believe is his name, that was playing phenomenal out of nowhere for Jacksonville this season. But I think his reps are now going to be, taken away with Travis Hunter because I think now they're going to throw Travis Hunter into the slot. Or do you put Travis Hunter out there on the outside when he's healthy, when you do want to use him, and then you allow Jakobi Meyers in the middle?
Yeah, that moves him over.
I could see it. So you can see Jacksonville transitioning to more defensive heaviness with Travis Hunter rather than using him on offense first.
Yeah, because he's starting to move, understand the offense good enough now. If they get him playing more defense, he's actually a shutdown corner. That's what they need more than anything, to shut some of these offenses down for a while. Him having his offense to play, but 10 targets for him is a lot.
10 targets for who?
Hunter, that's what he had last game.
Oh, he had 10 targets, and that's how he got hurt off at 10?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember he had that really good catch?
Yeah, I remember he had the really good catch, but that was like 2 weeks, but 2 weeks before then, though? 2 weeks before his injury?
Yeah. But then you look at last week, like I said, 10 catches, plus that's when he got hurt with his knee.
Fair.
They're still being tackled instead of tackling.
So you're a big fan of the Jakobi Meyers pickup then for Jacksonville, especially for the low draft pick.
That helps them out a lot.
Yeah, I think you could have paid money for Jakobi Meyers to come over there, let alone, just give up a super late round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, Pops. Let's get into the next part of it. Rashid Shaheed, Pops. He goes from the Saints to the Seattle Seahawks with that bad man right now, Sam Darnold. Pops, you're a big fan of him. What you think?
I think it's going to do them ropes. Because it looked like the Cup's a little old in the step, so he's not producing like I thought he should. Nothing without his feet. I think it'll make a big difference. That offense is already powerful enough. I think it's really going to explode.
Can I ask you this? Do you think it was the Triple Crown year that took a toll on his body, or just the injuries in general?
Injury, total age. It's all good.
That's what I was thinking too.
Recover when you recover after injuries. If you just lose steps and after year and after year, he can train all he wants to. He's still getting older. It's hard. You don't gain steps. You lose part. You know what I'm saying? You lose speed. You don't gain speed.
No, yeah, that's a fair point, Dad. If you take 2-3 injuries, you kind of lose speed every time, probably, and then you lose. You probably dang. Yep, that's a fair point. My bad.
Yeah,
I was
once you
talking.
train, you're not gonna train faster and faster as you get older. You'll get your top speed and try to keep that right there. As your age goes, you don't get faster as you develop older.
No, that's for sure, especially if you're taking injuries. But I just noticed after his Triple Crown year, it kind of, started to decline after that for him a little bit.
Because he got hurt.
But he also got hurt and then hurt, and they weren't little injuries either. They were,
He was hurt the year before, actually, too.
Oh, before he got his Triple Crown?
Mm.
So injuries more than likely just taking a toll on the body. I mean, and Jig was playing phenomenal over there, and I think Shaheed might even open things up for Cooper Kupp now to where their offense can click on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be, like I said, he'll get the second coverage. It won't be Kupp.
No. You're right. If Kupp gets a linebacker, Kupp back's in the game, baby. Kupp's back in the game. He's back to 8 catches for 160 if he's got a linebacker on him. Let's see here, Pops. Let's get to the. That's on you. My bad. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, Pops. Philly ended up grabbing Jalen Phillips, and I know you're actually a fan of this move as well. I am. I figured it would be Bradley Chubb that got moved, not Jalen Phillips, and I was actually surprised that it was Jalen Phillips. So how do you feel about that? And then especially going to Philly, because it just seems like Philly is nonstop picking up a defensive end or a defensive lineman for the last 3 years on the offseason or during the season.
I agree. He's in a better place than they need.
Say it one more time, Dad. Sorry, the clicking. Can't hear you, Dad.
Huh?
Okay, can hear you now.
Yeah, I said in Miami, he's just going there for his career to die. Now it's going to be resurrected in film.
Yeah. 100%. I think that. Hold on, what? Whose career is gonna die? My bad, Dad. It's hard to hear you with the dog walking in the background. It's hard to hear you with the dog walking in the background. It picks up your mic. No, I just asked you what you said because I didn't hear you.
No. I'm putting in front of me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You got food in front of you. I heard that part. Do you want to eat real quick?
No, we'll go ahead. Keep on with it.
Here, we'll just wrap this up real quick then, so you can eat. Also, Dad, Joe Tyron, don't know how to say his full name, from Cleveland, which was drafted by Cleveland, ends up going to Chicago for a late round draft pick, Pops. I'm actually fond of the move. I think that the move makes sense for Chicago. Chicago just had their rookie running back have a little pop. They're even talking about moving him on the first string a little bit with Swift, if not taking over the job. So it looks like Chicago was trying to make some moves, maybe couldn't get some star players, and then just had to go with what they could what they could actually pick up. But it seemed like the Bears were actually involved in some trades, because it seemed like they had a mix in with possibly Breece Hall and more options. But I mean, when your rookie running back comes out and plays like that, and he has 150 some rushing yards on blank amount of carries, it's hard to go trade for Breece Hall now. I mean, you might have a guy.
Yeah, thanks.
So maybe they kind of just backed out of some of the thoughts that they had for trades and just decided, hey, let's stay with what we got and let's try to fill in, a little spot here and a little spot here just to help out the team. And then we also had Jermont Jones, Dad, go to Baltimore, which I'm not a big fan of. I like Jermont Jones, defensive tackle, Pops. I think Baltimore could use it. But also I'm good if Baltimore don't get that. I mean, they're in my division. But I think it was a good pickup for them. I think he's a solid defensive lineman that'll help out their roster. And they picked him up for a late round draft pick anyways. And then we can, let's see here. We talked about Logan Wilson, Jair Alexander, and Michael Carter the second, both cornerbacks, one from the Jets, one from Baltimore Ravens. Both end up going to Philly, with Philly making the Jalen Phillips splash. And then they also picked up Brandon Graham, Mr. 5'5", and they picked him back up out of retirement. So the Eagles made a little splash, Pops. I like the DBs that they picked up as well. It just depends how they pan out. Let's see here. John Mechie III ends up going to the Jets. So the Jets ended up picking up 2 wide receivers in the last 3 days, Dad, with A.D. Mitchell and with John Mechie III from Houston. Houston has quite a bit of options over there, so it makes sense. I think it makes sense. And I feel like John Mechie's had plenty of snaps at Houston to either show something or not, for them at least.
Gotcha.
Okay. Keep saying gotcha. Alrighty. I'll just get through it. And then Keon White was picked up by San Francisco. Kyle Duggar was picked up by Pittsburgh. Shout out to you for getting 77 out of 78 snaps, big dog. We appreciate you. Way to get the game ball at the end of the game. Good pickup. What?
You said Kenny White? Who?
Keon White, defensive lineman. He didn't go to the Steelers. I was talking about Kyle Duggar there. But Keon White went to San Francisco, and he played he's played solid. I believe he was from New England.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Roger McCrary went to the Rams, DB / DB mainly. Greg Newsome, cornerback, goes to Jacksonville. So Jacksonville picked up a corner from Cleveland and picked up a wide receiver during the back end of the deadline. Tyson Campbell goes to Cleveland. Odafe Away. I know I said his name wrong. He's a linebacker, though. I believe he went from Baltimore, but now he's on the Chargers. He was at Baltimore, right?
Mm.
Okay. And then Alani Gilman, he went to Baltimore. He was a Charger safety, and he's actually playing phenomenal for Baltimore right now. Baltimore couldn't be no happier with him right now. Baltimore says that they love him. So shout out to Gilman. And then the last pickup, Pops, was Joe Flacco. And everybody already knows what Joe's doing right now. He beat my Pittsburgh Steelers.
I would have thought he would be standing up right after all the problems they have with blocking.
Who would have known you could keep shipping a guy that came off of a couch all around, and he's still not going to be the problem? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's not your problem, then you better figure it out.
Right.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up the trade deadline from Pops and I. We are going to have a podcast that drops for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you guys tap into the podcast. Make sure you guys enjoy. Please let us know anything that you guys want to say about the trades that happened during the trade deadline down in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe, please, and thank you. Pops, you want to say anything?
I'm good. What a trade day.
Great trade day.